This video is mainly for ArchiCAD users and we will see how you can export a project from ArchiCAD and import it in 3ds Max. I have created this very basic kitchen in ArchiCAD and let me use the marquee tool to see inside. To export a project, we need to be in the 3D window, not the floor plan, but in the 3D window. I will right-click and choose Show All in 3D so that I can see the full model. And I will go to File, Save As. From the Save 3D dialog box, go to the Save As type drop-down list and choose 3D Studio File.3ds. Put the name you want and click on Save. In this dialog box, let me start with the Set Drawing Unit 2 option. My ArchiCAD project is in meters, so I will choose here millimeters and set the value to 1000, so 1000 millimeters equals to 1 meter. Let's now go up here where we have 4 different ways to create the layers when exporting our project. The option I use is the surfaces and I believe is the simplest way to export your project. What does surfaces mean? That the layers will be created based on the materials we have assigned. So this glass will be one layer in 3ds Max, this laminate will be another layer, the white color will be another layer, and so on. So whether I have put a white color on my walls, floor, ceiling or the furniture, this will be one single layer in 3ds Max. And what does this mean? That you should be careful how you apply the colors in ArchiCAD. If I want this wall to be a white stucco and my cabinets to be a glossy white, then I need to apply 2 different colors so that in 3ds Max they enter as 2 different layers. Well, even if we do a mistake, that's fine. In 3ds Max we will use the detach command to separate the surfaces. So, let's select surfaces, put 1000 millimeters and press OK. Now go to 3ds Max and go to the menu File and choose Import and Import. Select the 3ds file and in this dialog box, it doesn't really make a difference what you will choose if you now start a new project. Merge objects with current scene means that the 3ds file will be merged in the Max file I have now open. The completely replace current scene means that this 3ds Max file will close, a new Max file will open and the .3ds file will be merged to the new Max file. So if this is an empty project, it doesn't make a difference which one you will choose. I always have the merge objects with current scene. And click OK. This dialog box has to do with animation. I know nothing about animation in 3ds Max, but if you press yes, the time slider here will match the animation you have set in ArchiCAD. As I said, I don't do animation in any of those 2 software, so whether I press yes or no, it doesn't make a difference to me. I will choose no. So what do we see here now? First, I want you to go to the name and color field in the command panel. And here, it informs us how many layers are merged from ArchiCAD. All the layers are now selected. Click anywhere in the viewports to deselect them. When the name and color field is empty, this means that nothing is selected. I want you now to select this thing over here, which is the sun from ArchiCAD, and press delete on your keyboard. We don't want it since we will put a sun in 3ds Max, and more specifically we will place a V-Ray sun. Now click on the Zoom Extends All command to zoom in and fit the project in the viewports. Sometimes we need to click more than once this command until they fit. If I press the H key, the Select from Scene dialog box appears that shows all the layers of our project. Unfortunately, as you can see here, the layers are named 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. and we can't recognize which layer here stands for which element of our project. What I do is to select a layer, click OK, enable the select and move command and drag it. So I see that this layer is the walls, floor, etc., which I want them to be a white stucco. I will click undo so that it returns to its original location, and I will come to the name and color field and rename it to white stucco. I will select another layer and do the same. So I repeat this process until all the layers are renamed and I can clearly understand them. If I open the material editor, choose the Pick Material from Object command and click on the walls, we see that they have a standard material. And if I double click on the node, we can see that it recognizes the name of the material we applied in ArchiCAD. In V-Ray, we want all our materials to be V-Ray materials, so I will right click on the material, choose Change Material Map Type, select V-Ray material, and press OK. Now, we have the default medium gray V-Ray material and we can adjust it. Let me do one more finish. I will click on the glass. You can also see here it recognizes that this is the glass clear. I will right click on the material, choose Change Material Map Type, select V-Ray material and press OK. I will go to the presets and select the glass. Let's go back to our ArchiCAD file. Let's go File, Save As. I will name this Layers, and I will now choose the Layers Surfaces option. What does this option mean? That the layers will be created based on the layers we have in ArchiCAD. Where do we see the ArchiCAD layers? If we select an element, let's say this wall, and go to its properties, this is the layer it belongs to. So the wall and the door belong to the structural bearing layer. I can click here and put them in another layer. If I select the ceiling, it also belongs to the structural bearing. And what does this mean? That my walls, my door and the ceiling will all be in the same layer in 3ds Max. Moreover, a multi-sub-object material will be created that will have all the materials of this layer. Let's see this in action. I will select everything and press Delete, and I will go to the menu File and choose Import and Import. If we now check the name and color field, we see only 3 layers this time, and one of them is the sun. I will select it and delete it as before. So if we press H, we see only 2 layers. One of them is our furniture and the other one is the structural elements plus the doors and windows. If we open the material editor, enable the Pick Material from Object command and click on the walls, we see a multi-sub-object material that consists of 5 submaterials. But the process remains the same as before. I will right-click on this material, choose Change Material Map Type, select V-Ray material and press OK. And then we adjust our V-Ray material. Let me hide this layer so that I can see the interior. If I enable the Pick Material from Object command and click on a surface here, we see another multi-sub-object material that consists of 6 sub-materials. I can unhide the walls now. So, as I said before, I find the Surfaces export option from ArchiCAD easier than this one, but it's up to you to decide which way works best for you. Let's go back to our ArchiCAD file to see the other options. Let's go to File, Save As. I will name these Elements. And I will now choose Element Types Surfaces. What does this option mean? That the layers will be created based on the element types we have in ArchiCAD. So, this wall will be one element. This wall another element, the door will be a new element, the ceiling another one, and so on. And for every element, a multi-sub-object material will be created. Let's see this in action. Now we have 21 layers, plus the sun, which we will delete. Let me move things around to see the various elements. This wall is one layer, the door is another, each chair is a separate element, each cabinet a separate layer, and so on. And if I open the material editor, the door is a multi-sub-object material that consists of 2 sub-materials, the glass and the frame. Same goes for every layer. I find this option very complicated, especially to set and correct all the materials, so I personally never use it or suggest it. And let's go back to ArchiCAD to see the final option. The ArchiCAD object's native input. What does this option mean? That every single object will be a separate layer and sometimes the objects will also break into parts. Let's go to 3ds Max to see it. Now we have 117 layers. As before, I will delete the sun. This wall is one layer, this wall is another layer, and if I click on the door, although it should be one layer, it has broken into several pieces, and therefore several layers. Same goes for the sliding doors, where each glass surface is a separate layer, and if I click on the frames, we have several layers here as well. Personally, I don't see any reason to export your project using this option. Let me go one final time back to our ArchiCAD project. If I repeat the steps, we also have these options at the lower part of the dialog box. If we enable the Write Out ArchiCAD texture information, then along with the 3ds file, the textures we have used here will be exported in the destination folder. And if we enable the object equals group name, then the layers, instead of being named 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., will be named based on the surface material we have set here. Let's see it. Enable both and click OK. So now, in the desktop, apart from the .3ds file, here are the textures I have used in ArchiCAD. And let's import the 3ds file into Max. If I click on the H key, now the name of its layer corresponds to the ArchiCAD material that was assigned. That's all on how to export a project from ArchiCAD and import it in 3ds Max.